How you all doing? How's things? Here I am in a bit of a forest in Burgundy. So, 2 weeks ago, the second single of my new album came out. The song was called I Am. I had a few conversations with a few people about it, and they kind of have an idea what the song is about, but they don't. And I fully get that. And part of it is that I don't really want to give you a meaning for the song, because once the song is out, it's not my song anymore. It's whatever that song becomes for you. But I suppose because of the full album, which is called Shine a Light, and it's coming out on the 14th of December, it is a part of the full album, and the full album is there is a certain kind of concept going through the whole album. So I think it's only fair that I kind of give you an idea of what I was thinking when I was writing that song. So I Am is very much a song about facing your fears. And this is not just like, I'm afraid of something and I have to deal with it. No, it's the bigger fears. It's the preconceptions that we were brought up with, and things that were planted in our brains that it could be our family, or it could be the education system, it could be the society, it could be friends, whatever it is. And I think that one of the biggest fears of all of them is your own mortality. So the song kind of starts with that and kind of finishes with that. The whole concept of that seed turns into flower, turns into dirt. There's no better teacher for what life is all about than nature. If you spend the time in it and you kind of let it speak to you, because even this forest, everything in this forest is going to eventually die, but they go on to be something else. It becomes the dirt, and then from that dirt new things grow. It's just this constant circle. It doesn't stop. And I think one of the biggest reasons why we're so scared of our own mortality is the unknown part of it, and the fact that there's loads of different religious beliefs of what happened after death, but the fact is that we have no scientific proof, and especially in the modern school system, we've kind of been taught to look for that proof, and if the proof is there, then it is somehow the truth, which is pretty bizarre, because a lot of the science, one big part of science is that you question it over and over again, and what was thought to be truth 50 years ago, a lot of those things are not anymore, because we've studied them more and figured out that actually we were wrong at the time. But and that's the thing. If we are afraid of the death constantly, it's usually to do with the fact that we have no concept of afterlife or what happens after we die. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that, we've got a very, very active brain that likes to overthink and do things. And in the modern science, we've associated consciousness to the brain. We think that once the brain dies, the consciousness dies. Now, there have been some research outside the norms, and there's a lot of quantum physics research as well, where there's a lot of theories, but we can't prove them. And I think it's also part of, we're not supposed to know everything, some things just are, and there isn't that scientific explanation for them. So there's the other side of it, is that you can reach places. I'm gonna be very careful how to word this, and you have to be ready to do that. And it requires a lot of switching off that brain part of your thinking mind, because to me, the brain as we know it, or the thinking mind, it is very much our ego, and it is attached to a lot of things, and a lot of those things we're better off if you actually find a way of letting go of them. You could be, you see yourself as of something that you do rather than just the person you are. But the thing is that what you do is a skill you learn. You can change that tomorrow if needs be. That's not who you are. Who you are is a much deeper. And this is just my theory on it. I do think that there is something more than just the brain. I think there is a soul that we possess, that is the one that is actually observing all the thinking and all the stuff going on in the brain. And I personally do believe that soul is with our body through our lifetime, but when we die, it goes somewhere else. I don't know where. I have my theories, but that's not for me to tell you. That's, these are the things I think we all have to figure out our own belief systems. And but for me personally, it was a time that I kind of went through. Okay, I didn't want to really bring COVID into it, but during the COVID times, the world stopped and we were very much isolated. And I was living on my own at the time, and so I had a lot of time to think, and some of that time I really tried to put into meditation and kind of soul searching. And it's, for me, that was the way that kind of helped me to see certain things, make a peace with a lot of things from my past, let go a lot of beliefs that was installed in me, and that's, I'm not saying that you're going to need a global pandemic for that to happen, but you do need to take some time of your day to commit to that kind of soul searching, to figure out all that kind of stuff. And meditation is just the one way, and I wouldn't say it's the only way. Some people really do find it through religion, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that either. If your faith brings you that kind of clear understanding of your path and your purpose and your what life has in store for you after you leave this place. But that is one of those things that life just gets a little bit easier when you make some sort of peace with your own mortality. This body that we have, it does have an expiration date. Now, we don't know that expiration date exactly, but if you, even with the modern science, if you're here for 100 years, that's a good expiration date. So and it starts with that, trying to face the fear of mortality, and then it goes back into the thing that a lot of the fears that we have is, they go back into our inner child, and we do have that wounded little part of us that's got hurt somewhere along the way, and that carries fears, and when if somebody goes and pokes those fears, very often it does trigger things in us, and the brain and the ego in the brain gets some kind of self-preservation mode, and it can make us, sometimes behave weirdly or just shut down, and very often this kind of stuff can actually hold us back from living the life to the fullest and reaching our full potential, which I think personally to me is one of the most important things I can do, is try to become the best version of me that I can. And it is, I talk about the snake in the night of the song, and that is like, it's kind of symbolism for a lot of people. Fear is the snake, and a lot of religious scripts talk about snakes as being either fear or some sort of source of evil. And you gotta realize that snake is it's not an external, it's actually part of you. It's you're the one who's holding on to those fears, so nobody else can make them go away except you. So you have to kind of find a way to facing them. That's what it's all about. I am, and it's a realization that I am. There's something that's within you that is watching and listening and observing, starting from the external stuff, surroundings and everything, however you happen to see it, but then also observing what's going on here inside, and the things that we're the mind overthinks and does, and and you kind of have to that inner, what I call the soul part, it's also where a lot of the things that you really truly genuinely want or desire or are kind of based on. This is not like the material stuff, that's ego, that's completely your ego, but like there's things in this life that you do that just simply resonates and warms your heart and gets you excited, and very often those are the things that you're actually here to do, and all the other stuff that we need or want, the material stuff, that those are just distractions from it all. Some gorgeous autumn skyline here, tree lines. This is absolutely stunning part of the world, if I haven't told you before. So that's what it is like. It's trying to kind of face those fears and realize that your overthinking brain is not the one who's in charge. It's only in charge as long as you let it be that, and there's times when, when the fight and flight mode, and, when you need that protective instinct, and it's there for a reason, and you should appreciate it, but it shouldn't run your day-to-day life. You need more time, you need more self-reflection, you just need to stop and listen, and that's very much what the I am is about. Those moments when you realize that, and you kind of start to go through the process of letting those fears go, and it can be a tough thing to do. And I know it was for me, but on the other side, you come out of it as a very, very different person, and life does get easier. But that's, and I specifically want to stick to the I Am song right now, because the full album has a full story, and there's certain steps along the way, but this is only one step. So this is the facing your fears and letting go of that ego. It's making peace with your own mortality. It's realizing you're part of this beautiful nature. You're part of everything, as long as you are, you're never alone. So yeah, I am. And yes, I would very much like to hear what you think of the song, and if it brings up any kind of different meanings to you. Because as I said, once I let that song go, it doesn't matter what I think it means. It's what it means to you. So yeah. Thanks for watching my rambles here in the forest. Talk to you guys soon.